All right, Walter, also next, this is an important question for so many of us parents out there. How much is too much? The new guidelines on setting limits on kids' screen time. Dr. Alexander Hamling from Pacific Medical Center is live in studio for us. He just got back from a conference where they announced these new recommendations. We'll talk about it right after this. Yeah, help your city out. So no screen time for kids under 2 years old. That used to be the recommendation from the nation's top doctors, but it's changing. Not anymore. Dr. Alexander Hamling from Pacific Medical Center is here to break down exactly what this means for us. And you just got back from the American Academy of Pediatrics meeting in San Francisco, and they issued these new guidelines for parents, and they broke it down into several age groups. So I want to walk through each age group and have you tell us what the change is. So let's start with kids 18 months and younger. What do they say about screen time for that age group?
So the important thing is to know that still limited screen time is what we're focused on. Kids in that age group really need LAPs instead of apps in order to grow, in order to have better language skills and social-emotional intelligence.
Okay. What does that mean?
So the way that kids will interact with the world, the way that they'll interact with others, that they'll learn about the world and develop their fine motor skills and gross motor skills. So the caveat is that instead of no screen time, we said limited amount of live video screen time, such as Skype or FaceTime, can be acceptable. Again, promoting that kind of direct interaction with the child and nothing passive.
Okay, so limited, how would that break down in the course of a day?
In the course of a day, I would say live video chat for 10 minutes or so a day in that age group.
Okay, so let's talk about kids 15 months to 2 years old.
Yeah, so the next age group, really that kind of 1.5 to 2 years, still less than an hour of screen time. Most important thing is to have it not be solo screen time. So definitely have mom or dad or grandparent with the child, interacting with the child on the device, talking about what they're seeing, how that relates to the world, repeating those sounds, those messages, in order so they can continue to put those concepts together.
Okay, so 15 months to 2 years, about an hour of specific types of screen time.
Exactly.
Let's talk about kids 2 to 5 years old, so a little bit older.
Yep. High quality, slow apps that are child driven. So the child touches an animal, it makes the sound, it repeats the word, the child then repeats the word or does the sound as well. Again, not solo, it must be done with a family member present in order to help encourage that and build that into the real world concepts.
Okay.
So limited again to about an hour or so. So while not to be totally nixed, but still not to be encouraged, I would say.
Now you're talking specifically about apps when it comes to screen time. How about television and movies? How does that play into this?
Yeah, so television, movies are very passive. So I would say close to zero.
Close to zero. For how long?
At least until 2. Sometime after 2, sometime after 5, we start to look more at how is the child doing as far as their sleep, their nutrition, finishing up their homework in older kids. And so the limitation of no more than 2 hours gets a little grayer in that sense, as long as they're meeting all their basic kind of requirements for home, for school, nutrition, hour of outside exercise.
Okay. Yeah, so limiting the screen time. The apps can be helpful and educational in some instances. What are some of the risks if we do open them up to more screen time? Yeah,
so what we found is that children may not develop their language skills as appropriately if they're introduced to apps or screen time too early. They may take some of these more fighting conflicts that are through some video games or on screen time and adapt them into the real world. There's always a risk that kids may feel more isolated too, or they may use that as their kind of quiet mode rather than being able to express their emotions appropriately as they grow older.
Okay, and Dr. Hamling, we're about 20 more seconds. Do you have some applicable advice for parents to limit that screen time? Because sometimes it can be easier to give them a screen.
Yeah, set what we call a family media plan. So that can be as simple as no screens at dinner time and no screens 1 hour before bedtime, and make both the parents and the child accountable for that.
Okay, good. Interesting new guidelines. I think they're manageable for a lot of parents, so appreciate you sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
Matt, back to you.
Laps, not apps. I love it. You know, that lap phase, it only lasts so long. Then they can no longer fit in your lap. Coming up next in new...